Hey y'all, check it out. Before y'all get done watching the video, make sure I click on the little watermark on the right hand side of the screen at the bottom to subscribe to the page. Hope y'all enjoy. Stay tuned.
I open my mind, watch I open my grind. This ain't no rap, this ain't no regular rhyme. I did not jot any line, this ain't no cap. I get respect where I'm from, I get respect where I'm at. Look how I'm moving, look who a part of the movement. Sit back and watch how I do it, watch how I do it. No, I don't do it for flexing, man, I'm just here with a message, here with a message. Know that you destined for greatness, hope that you live in your blessing, live in your blessing. Most of your people be hating, they just been needing direction, needing direction. Though it ain't nothing directed as long as you live in your lesson, live in your lesson.
All right, what's good, everybody? Back with another episode of DubFactsU on air. Got my boy from the 217 currently down in Miami right now, handling business. Brandon Myles, how you feeling, bro?
Man, I can't call it, man. Everything good, solid. All is well. Getting ready for these holidays.
Yeah, for the people who don't know, explain your title with the Miami Heat to them.
Yeah, man. For starters, thank you for giving me space and platform just to kind of share my story. I don't really think of myself as too much. So like when somebody always reaches out, it's always a compliment for me. So thank you for sharing your platform with me. And I've seen some of your episodes and really like what you got going on. So when you asked, it was a no-brainer. So appreciate the love in that respect. But so I am the senior manager of season ticket memberships for the Miami Heat. So that's just a fancy way of just saying that we take care of all of our season ticket members down with the team. We don't sell season tickets. We got a sales department that handles that, but we service them. We renew them from year to year. So
yeah, that's a pretty decent gig, though.
no, man. So I'm a basketball baby. I know you are as well. So I mean, to be able to be around basketball all day, man, I couldn't ask for anything else. So to be on the business side of it, because I went in originally wanting to be on the basketball side, being around all the guys, the analytical part and whatnot. But I found a lot of joy in doing what I'm doing now, being on the business aspect of it and taking care of season ticket members. I think finding that balance of joy with work all in one space, I couldn't have asked for anything else.
Yeah. Okay. Let's jump into it, man. Question I asked everybody from the jump: who the first person to get you that work on the basketball court?
Payersville. PV. My dog PV, man. And then Franklin. He was at Franklin. I was at Jefferson. And then we joined forces at Southeast back at the crib. But yeah, PV, man. PV was dumb nice.
Bro, what's crazy is me and Brandon Dunson were just talking about him.
About Paris?
Yeah.
Brandon was nice too.
Yeah, we have conversations about him all the time. It's like, man, we wonder how he may have panned out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I actually never knew like what exactly happened and stuff like that. I know he had stopped playing and he started back. So I was confused, but man, like Paris was nuts, man.
Paris was the truth. And to see it up close when we actually got to practice and everything, it was a pleasure to be like, he was just God gifted. Like Paris like didn't even have to try, and he would just go out and score 25 whenever he wanted. 10 assists. Like it was so easy for him. It came so easy for him. So yeah, P gave me some work.
So how was it like growing up in Springfield, like as far as playing basketball and just all around?
Yeah, for me, I cherish my time in Springfield, man. Born and raised. I left when I was 21. So I love the city. From the east side of Springfield, family born and raised there. My dad and mom got a lot of roots over there, a lot of family friends and whatnot. So I mean, we just neighborhood kids, man. Basketball, football. I played a little baseball here and there, but it was fun. Met a lot of great people through sports in general. By the time I hit probably middle school, high school, shout out to my parents, we had kind of gone to, I guess you would call it middle class, if you want to call it that way. So I was fortunate enough to be out of danger, out of trouble in that respect, but still kind of being able to still focus on basketball and schoolwork and whatnot. So I'm not one to just, I come from the trenches and everything like that. Like, hey, my mom and dad did that. Thank goodness they got me and my siblings out of that. And I had a pretty decent upbringing, man.
And you went to, was it Washington?
No, I went to Jefferson. I went to Jefferson Middle School in Southeast. Yeah, okay, so I was a Jaguar.
Yeah, wait, Jefferson. What's the green school? Is it the green school?
That's Franklin. That's where Paris.
Franklin.
Yeah, that's Franklin.
Okay. And your school is blue, right?
Blue. Yeah.
Okay, and then Grant is of course black and gold or whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I said Washington. Is it a Washington over there?
There's Washington. Yep, the Washington Generals.
Okay. Yeah. I remember we played y'all in middle school. I think you was in 7th, I was in 8th, but they had some kid on their team, and I wonder where he went when we got like to high school and stuff. His name was like Stacy or something like that.
At where? Washington?
Yeah.
Stacy.
I don't know. He had like long hair or something like that. He might have might have been him, but he tore our ass up. Like he was like a man child or something like that.
Stace might have.
And I want to say about time we went to high school, I don't think I think he stayed the same size he was in middle school, so he really didn't do much or something. But
yeah, you might be talking about my dog Stacy Lott, man. He was a big guard, so he could play in the post and dribble, and it was always fun guarding him because he would take me to the post. So it was kind of because it was a guard, it was kind of unique for me to kind of work on post moves. I used to always like guarding him and pick up and stuff, just because you get like as a small guard, you got to work on your post little tricks and stuff. I know you know about that. Work on your post tricks when they try to take you down there. So
yeah, he tore our ass up, man.
Yeah, Stacy was nice.
So, growing up, was there anybody you looked up to, like older guys, basketball wise?
Yeah, man. Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson was my guy that I used. Ty was nice. That's who I used to like to go and watch. And that, man, his handle was crazy. His handle was nuts. So he was the OOG, and then one kind of closer to my age range, and I actually won a middle school state title with my big brother at Franklin. My big brother went to Franklin, and they won a middle school title over there. Eric Gilcrease, Gilly.
Oh yeah, that's my boy. I talk to him all the time.
Love to see him still going strong, man. We still chat here and there on the net and whatnot. But E. Gilly was one that I just paid close to, just to kind of see where he came from. Like he is really one of those started from the bottoms and nobody ever talked about. By the time his senior year came, he was unstoppable in the CSA.
Yeah, when he transferred to Lanphier, it was a whole different ball game then.
What the Lanphier was curtains. That bag was deep when he went to Lanphier.
Yeah, I'm talking to him all the time, man.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to kind of see, just because my brother knew him, so it's kind of cool to watch him where he came from to where he actually went.
So about how old would you think you was when you first picked the ball up?
Man, bro, 3, 4 had to be. My mom and dad got pictures of me early, and it was one of those things that I was just always fascinated, and even still to this day, to get this like circular figure in a circular figure. You know what I mean? Just the ball in the rim. Like all of that was always fascinated with me. So I can recall times just like, yo, basketball is really a dope game. It's like at its purest form, it's beautiful to watch. And that's why I think it's always just been connected to me and kind of everything that I've wanted to do and kind of wanted to make it a career.
Yeah, everything's pretty much full circle then.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from like as shorties, you run around playing basketball all day with your boys, then you got your driver's license, and now y'all can go wherever at the light. And then at some point, you would like high school, college, all that. And then at some point, if you don't play professionally, it just stops. So for me, that's where I was like, all right, how can I keep this going? How can I keep basketball in my life? And I knew from an early age kind of what I wanted to do, not necessarily what I wanted to do, but I know basketball had something to do with it.
So were you satisfied as far as like your high school career went and stuff like that?
Yeah, man. Yes and no. I would say no from a kind of plain perspective. Shout out to my coach Rick Montooth. I know me and him has some different views on things. I would say, being politically correct. But Coach Montooth is my dog, man, and he taught me an early lesson is that nothing is given to you. You got to earn everything. So looking back at my high school kind of career, I think it taught me an early lesson that no matter what you think is fair, no matter what, you got to go out and work every day. You got to go out and earn your stripes every single day of life. And I think that's what I took from high school. So that's where the yes piece comes. I think it taught me a valuable lesson in plain sight that I didn't even know at the time. But I realized it kind of on the back end. And I don't think people like I haven't seen my coach since I graduated back in 2007. And I don't think he thinks, or I don't think he understands how much I think about him specifically. And it's no beefs. It's more about, I just use those kind of life lessons to kind of get me through tough days. So.
Yeah, that's I understand. I definitely understand what you're saying, man. Same way with, my coaches from back then, how stuff played out and stuff like that. But they probably look at it and probably feel like, well, he probably still holding a grudge or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's all learning experiences, that we can hold on to and that we can use to motivate, our kids and stuff, going forward. Sure. And speaking of that, man, congrats on your little one coming. I know you're excited.
Yeah, man. We right in the heart of things any day now. So any day she could pop.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm watching my phone closely.
Man.
She had dinner with friends right now, but yeah, I'm watching. I watch my phone closely. We actually had a game the other night, and she called me, and I thought it was time.
It was time.
Yeah, it was something completely different. But yeah, we had that same. Appreciate you.
For sure, man. I got two, man. They expensive though.
That's what I hear.
They expensive.
Hey, they expensive, and you don't get much downtime with them. Are the top two things I think people didn't share with me.
Man, I run around weekly, man, because both mine's they at the age of elementary basketball started. They both playing. So one play every Tuesday, one play every Thursday. Practices, man. My daughter,
you got a boy and a girl, right?
Yeah.
That's
so my
joy
son,
for
he just basketball crazy. He everything basketball. My daughter, she played basketball, volleyball, cross country, track, gymnastics, cheerleading, like
everywhere.
Everything, man. And it's the girls be the one that just hit you up. She just randomly FaceTime me on, Dad, can you cash at me some money? I'm gonna order some off of Amazon, Shein, stuff. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, man, it's time for y'all to get some jobs or something, man.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to that journey.
Yeah, I love it though. I wouldn't trade it in for nothing.
Facts, yeah.
So if you could have a Springfield starting five, like no matter all time, who would your starting five? Who would your starting five be?
I'm going. Oof, that's tough. Because I think I when you were saying that, I was like, do I want to run a 3-guard? Because I didn't mention 3 tough guards already. So do I want to go to old Illinois offense where they had the 3 guards?
Man, they crushed my heart losing that damn title game, man.
All right, I'm going to give you a starting 5, and I'm going to give you 2 off the bench.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, so I am going to go with 3 guards. So I'm going to go Paris just because he had natural 1. So Ty and E. Gilcrease are my 2 and 3 either way. They can shoot better than P, but P is a playmaker and can get to the rack whenever he wants. So those my guards. And then I'm gonna go in the era of stretch. I'm gonna go with stretch 4, and Rich McBride was always a big guard. So I'm gonna let him play.
Dude was a damn man child.
I'm gonna let Rich play a little small ball forward. Rich gonna play a little small ball forward for me, and then
and that's perfect in high school.
Exactly. That's a perfect for the high school game. And then we going Dre. We going Dre at the 5. We going that's an easy 5.
Ain't about that roster. That roster nuts. Dre can get that mother off the board. He gonna push it anyway.
Everywhere, and we going. Everybody push the ball, go, and we running. we running, and then my bench, I'm going more of a traditional. He was kind of a stretch too. Marcus Hurd, I love Marcus
Marcus
Hurd game.
Hurd, yeah.
Love Marcus game.
Him and Ty together was nuts.
Him and Ty was nuts. So I love Marcus. And then I'm going EJ Smith too. EJ was a pure bucket getter. Yeah. EJ got money, and he was a lefty, and I know you love lefties. So yeah. And then my wild card there, and this is just because he's my favorite player that I played with in high school, LT. That one gets you lights out.
Hey, LT was a little monster. You seen any of the clips of his son?
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Got his daddy shot for sure. Yeah, he nice. So that's I think I gave you 8 with L in there. I think I gave you 8. So
that's solid. That's a solid 8 though. You cannot argue that.
Yeah,
you cannot argue that, man. LT. We were just talking about LT a couple weeks ago too. Lewis, Lewis, Gerard, a couple of us. We was talking about LT a couple weeks ago. We just randomly talked about people in our group chat. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know the feeling. We did too.
Man, it's just crazy how time has gone so far, man. It's like time and flew.
Yeah, and it's not seeing our generation. Yeah, it's crazy seeing our generation go, but then the generation that we watch too. And then like I could have picked from a slew of people. I kind of stayed in kind of like our era,
right?
That I was able to actually watch and actually knew what was happening. And then people after me. So like that's what I tell people all the time. People think, and I know Chicago do got a ton of talent, all up north, but we had some talent down south.
Tons of it.
Yeah, we had some talent.
Okay, so let's jump into college. What was your best college experience just overall?
I think for me was just traveling and playing. Like we both went to Robert Morris, obviously, but I think for me, just traveling and playing the game. It was cool seeing different parts of the world. I wasn't an AAU baby. I kind of just worked on my game in the summer, so I didn't do much AAU. So that was kind of like my first real experience of traveling and playing outside of like team functions. So that was cool. And then just the bond you build. I still talk to my teammates. Bo Pat, I know you know them. Trey, Ray. Yeah. So Ephraim, we still chat here and there. So I think just building those lifelong connections just through basketball. Like the funny part is just the whole, like I can relate everything through basketball in my life. And it's kind of crazy once you think about it. So I just building those lifelong connections and building some good rapport with people.
And you did all 4 of your years athletically at RMU, right?
No. So fun fact, I actually only did 2.5 years. So I actually, with the accelerated program, I just stayed in school. So when everybody was out in summer, I just kept going. So my actual senior night was done in January, December, like whatever that halfway point was. And then I went to grad school. So yeah, I only played 2.5 years of college.
So you already had it in your mind that like I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I knew the plan. And that's why I chose. That was one of the reasons I went to Robert Morris, because of the accelerated program. And it got to stay at the crib. So because of that, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I wanted to get a head start. So that was one of the main reasons that I did it.
So you already had in your mind like what you were trying to do after school and stuff like that?
Yep. Oh, I knew, and I didn't know about the accelerated piece until after high school, but I knew that I wanted to work in sports in like middle school. I got a 8th grade book where it said I wanted to be a commentator on ESPN or kind of work in the NBA. It said I wanted to own a team. So I kind of knew kind of like the guidelines. I just knew I had to get through school quick, and I wanted to kind of get a head start on it because I was anxious. I was anxious with it.
So it wasn't tough. Like, man, I got a year and a half left that I can play. Was it tough, like leaving that behind like that?
Super tough. Yeah, you love basketball. I mean, that's when that was the toughest decision throughout that process, because you like, all right, you'll never play like meaningful basketball again.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last time that you'll play meaningful basketball. Like you'll play pickup, you'll play rec leagues and all that stuff, and that's kind of for fun. But this is actually meaningful. So that was probably the toughest part.
Man, had to
Yeah.
be tough, man. I
Yeah.
I know how that be.
Yeah.
Like it's
You know,
like
we can
you
go
letting
forever.
go. Yeah, like you like really can't let go, but it's like
Yeah.
that time come, it's gone, man. It's
Yeah.
gone. So after that, you went down to Louisiana, right, to Xavier?
Not that I went to the one in Cincinnati. So
Oh, okay.
the
See, I
Midwest.
always thought you went to the one in Louisiana.
Yep. So I went to XU in Cincinnati. So that's where I kind of actually started figuring things out. That's where I started putting plans together and started making real decisions, like real life decisions, about what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, and whatnot. So I studied. So I did my bachelor's at Robert Morris in business administration, and then I did my master's at Xavier in sports administration. So that's when I put everything into sports at that point.
And you stayed there what, for 2
2 years.
years?
Yep, it was a 2-year program.
Who were the players? Was two Holloway and them down there then?
Who was there? Yeah, 2 was there.
Yeah.
That was the year. My first year there was remember the brawl with Cincinnati?
Oh yeah.
It was that 2 team, and Yancey Gates was on Cincinnati. Yeah.
That's a big dude.
Yancey was throwing them joints too. Yancey, a big dude.
So were you working with the sports programs while you were going to school there?
No, and that was actually one of my biggest regrets down the line. I wish I would have took that a little bit more serious and doing more interns. But kind of in this profession of life, I didn't know any of that. Like I didn't have anybody that I could be like, yo, what can you do? How do you do this? How do you get into sports? I didn't have anybody, but looking back on things, I wish I would have. I actually, which I don't think a lot of people know this, I actually worked at a law firm. I worked at Frost Brown Todd. So I had a full-time job during the day at Frost Brown Todd, downtown Cincinnati, overlooking the Reds Stadium. Shout out to my work mom, Melissa. She always took care of me. She knew I was a baby. I'm a mama's boy at heart, so she could pick that out quick. That was my dog there. So I worked downtown there during the day and then went to school at night. So that was my schedule Monday through Friday.
Wow, that's pretty decent then. That's pretty decent. Yep. So from there, of course, you went to the U.
Yep.
I know that was an experience for sure.
Eye opener, bro. Eye opener. I needed an internship to end my program at Xavier. I had to do a sports internship. Easiest thing would have been to do it with the Cincinnati Reds, Bengals, anybody local, Xavier, Cincinnati. But that was the turning point, I think, for me, where I said, okay, I'm tired of snow. I graduated in January, so I was done with snow. Yeah, so I was tired of that. So I was like, you need to go post up wherever you want to be. Not saying it was going to be permanent, but this is kind of this is your starting point. So I still actually got a notebook. I just use like subtle little stuff like that for motivation here and there, but I still got a notebook where I hit up probably 150, 200 colleges, sports commissions in Florida alone. So from Tallahassee to Gainesville, Jacksonville, everywhere. 2 people responded to me, Jacksonville University and University of Miami. I sent emails to everybody, kind of a copy and paste resume, sent it out. It took me like 4 or 5 days. I felt like, all right, I sent out enough stuff. Those 2 hit me back. I was actually going to the University of Jacksonville initially because my older brother, he came out here with me and he's in Jacksonville still. So me and him were going to go to Jacksonville. He was going to start his career. I was going to go there. By the time it was time to make moves, I found out on the back end, the guy just went ghost on me that I was in contact with. And he got fired or something. Let me not throw smut on his name. I don't know what happened. He wasn't there.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
he disappeared.
Something happened.
So the next one, the University of Miami. So I went back to them and said, hey, if y'all still offering that internship, I'll take it. And they was like, yeah, bet, come down. Free internship, by the way. So I moved from Cincinnati down here on a free internship, had a little bit of money saved up from the law firm. I knew how long I could get by with it. And then shout out my parents. I knew they had my back. They knew what I was chasing, so I knew they would have my back on whatever I needed if they needed to float me anything. So yeah, that's how I got down here. University of Miami changed my life, man. Eye opener.
And been there since.
Yeah. My time at the University of Miami, I started in marketing, and then I rolled into a full-time job after the internship. But like being on the court, being on the field for Florida State, University of Florida, like those rivalries that you play
different.
That you play NCAA as a kid and see all of that, and now you right in the middle of it, seeing Duke come down and got your Coach K, the ACC Big Ten Challenge, seeing Izzo over there.
Crazy.
Like Kobe came, the Lakers were actually playing the Heat when Duke played so Kobe pulled up to the game. Rest in peace to Kobe. So all of those type of things are just my immediate memories from that. I was there for that Shane Larkin team that went to the dance, so that made noise at Sweet 16 or Elite 8, wherever they went. So that was my experience for those 2 years. They're crazy.
Man, that's so dope, man. You speaking of the college football games and stuff. These kids don't know how hard it went back in the days, man. Then you could draft yourself to Madden and stuff like that.
Super different, yeah.
It definitely was different, man. These kids just don't understand. Like March
they got
Madness,
the dumb down version, yeah. And we had the college basketball games and everything too.
Yeah,
like I'm sure they'll bring basketball.
Nuts.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll bring basketball at some point, but like we had all of that. That was the heart of our childhood, man.
Them all I needed. The NBA game, the college games, and the programs. That's all I needed. That's all I needed.
Sports Center and a basketball with the homies.
Yep,
like, we good.
It was good, man. Yeah. You don't even see kids outside with basketball dribbling up and down the street no more, man. It's either they get in the gym or nothing.
Yeah,
no parks, no nothing.
The rare times you do, I always point it out. I was like, oh, look, like I catch myself. Oh, there's kids out here playing. Oh, there's somebody dribbling a basketball just because you don't really see it anymore.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You mentioned being there when Coach K and them come and stuff.
Yeah.
Man, we a lot of people don't know it. Of course, my guys here know. I actually called his phone one day.
Coach K?
Yeah, I don't know. Lewis had his number in his phone or something like that. Yeah. I don't know if he called him or something, or if he got it from one of his AAU teammates who Duke was recruiting or what. But he told us, like, I got Coach K number. We like, bro, Duke is not even recruiting you, bro. You don't have his number. Ain't no way you got his number.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the number. I said, I'm going to call it. Man, I called it. His wife answered. I'm like, yeah, can I speak to Coach K? She's like, yeah, man, X was calling. I'm like, shit, who am I?
Yeah, who is it?
And then Clemson was recruiting Lewis, so he like, say the coach from Clemson. I'm like, what's his name? He told me the name. I said, this coach, I can't remember who the coach was. He's like, okay, just a second. Man, everybody like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? He got on the phone. I freeze up. I'm like, I hung the phone up and shit, man. I'm like, damn, I thought he was lying the whole time. I'm like, I just got the phone with Coach K, man.
Coach
for real.
That's crazy.
Man, that shit was crazy, man. I called Coach K, froze up, didn't know what to say, lied and said I was his man from Clemson and all type of shit. But he's like, who the fuck is this? He probably had his number changed after there or some shit.
Yeah.
That shit was just crazy. Just hearing him get on the phone, like, hello? Like, I can tell people, I talked to Coach K before, shit. I don't care what you say. I hung up, but I heard his voice, shit.
And real, those are the type of experiences like that. Just like that's why basketball is so dope. We get all that joy just from hearing Coach K voice because we didn't watch the greatness of him, and that's why I tell people all the time. And I know every sport got that, but to me, that's just why basketball. Like, bro, I talked to Coach K.
It just hit different, bro.
It's a different feeling. Yeah.
Even when I was in college, JUCO, we used to have coaches come in and stuff like that. Man, it's just owner just felt different. Like guys you
Yeah.
see on TV, like Walter McCarty, he was assistant at Louisville. They was kind of recruiting the players, and I'm asking him about his role, and he got game and all type of stuff like that, man. You know, I walk in the gym, I see him, I hit his little part. I got hops, baby. I got hops. I walk in doing that. He fall out laughing and stuff like that. Everybody like, man, why you be acting like that? I'm like, man, I'm a human. They a human. I'm gonna interact the best way I know how to, man. I'm a people's person, so I gotta do what I gotta do, man. You never know.
Yeah.
So that's just how I am, real outgoing and stuff, man. You got one life, you gotta live it how you gonna live it, man.
No doubt.
For real. So you jumped into marketing stuff like that. So you was working with football, basketball, any other sports?
Yeah, pretty much touched every sport. Those were my that one, and then baseball was my other primary sport. So all sports that I could follow. Did some tennis and soccer and everything too. So my one, if I had a gripe, and it's not even really a gripe, but my only one thing I would say about University of Miami, it was I just wanted to focus on one thing. I just wanted to focus on basketball. Like after the first year, everything was cool. I enjoyed my experiences, but it was like, all right, I'm tired of dealing with these sports. I want to focus on basketball. And then that's what kind of led me to start the pursuit of getting to the NBA, which I knew I wanted to, but it was more of like, all right, I need to do this now. Like I've done sports, and sports doesn't fulfill me as much as I initially thought it was, like just being in college, even at the U. Like the U is prestigious. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows the logo when they see it. Very prestigious brand. Love my time there, but it was like, yo, you gotta get to the league, essentially.
Yeah. Did you ever think about coaching?
Briefly. The one thing about coaching is I don't know if I could have been, I don't want to say this. At that point, I didn't have a voice. I didn't know what my voice was, because I was mad young. So I was 21. So I was 23 when I got out to Miami. And I did get not offered, but I got presented a opportunity to coach high school locally here. And I was like, okay, that could be cool. That could kind of jumpstart it. But you don't know kind of like what your coach style is, what your voice is. Mm-hmm. Maybe I could have figured it out and whatnot. But I was just dead set on one thing. I was dead set on getting to the NBA. Now, if there was an opportunity that ever would have presented itself, which it never did with coaching in the NBA, I think that I would have took a little bit more serious to figure it out right away.
So what year was it when you first got with the Miami Heat organization?
That's an easy way to figure this out. 12, 13, 14, 15, when Brown went back to Cleveland. I missed I missed the entire Brown epidemic. Being an employee, I was down here for it, and it was crazy from the outside looking in. But being an employee of the Heat, I missed the whole epidemic.
Shit.
So yeah, my boys that worked there, they was like, man, I just wish you could experience it. Somebody that liked basketball as much as you, it would have been crazy for you.
That shit would have hit different for real.
I tell my brother this once. I was like, it's kind of probably a blessing in disguise. Like if I would have had all of that at that time, and I would have been going crazy. Like, yo, where B at? Oh, he in the locker room. He with the goggles on somewhere.
Type shit.
Yeah, it's probably a blessing in disguise.
Like you a player. I want everything y'all got. Champagne, the goggles, everything.
Bron having the finals MVP trophy and all that. Y'all would have seen my head in them famous pictures and stuff.
All them pictures.
Yeah. So it's probably a blessing in disguise that kept me away.
Yeah, for real. I would have been in the middle of all that shit too. I'm part of the organization. Y'all ain't leaving me out.
That would have been crazy. Yeah. So yeah, it was that time. So my first team was Dwayne was still here, CB was still here. And then we was backfilling the team. So Amari, Gerald Green, Luau Dame. We drafted Shabazz that year.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Shabazz was like, yo, I'm in Miami. LeBron, you can come back. All that type of stuff. So that was my first team.
Okay. Yeah, if I sure was wondering how long you've been, but you've been, I mean, shit, you've been holding on. When you first applied or whatnot for the position,
Yep.
did you think your chances? How did you feel about your chances of getting it?
This I probably told 3 people this story, right? So I'm gonna tell you just because you asked, and that's a great question in respect for my story. So I actually applied for 2 marketing positions that I got passed over on prior to me getting what my first position was. So I applied with the Heat for 2 separate positions in person at the arena. And they were marketing. So I thought I had great chances of it because I'm doing marketing over here with the University of Miami. These are marketing positions. I felt like I was good. I had solid interviews. I thought I was good. But truth be told, they hire from pretty much kind of within. They have kind of like a feeder system. So the intern goes to these roles a lot of times. So that is one thing that I can say about our organization, the culture and all of that type of stuff. That's truly real. And I felt that kind of before even being in the organization. So then my second one, so this was just kind of right timing, right place, and God having his hand on it. So my second interview was an actual marketing coordinator position, and I got passed up on that. The guy I interviewed with, who is still with the organization, so I'm forever indebted to him in a way as well. He called me and said, "Hey, I can't give you this job. We're going with one of our interns. Respect." So at this point, I'm disappointed. This is the second time I done got passed up. Now I'm kind of a little discouraged. He said, but the folks in the season ticket membership department is hiring. I'm going to pass your resume along and put in a word for you there. Mind you, he's an executive. I'm going to put a word in for you there, and we'll see what happens. I was like, you hear that, and it's like, yeah, all right, cool, whatever. I'm disappointed right now. So maybe a week and a half later, HR called and said, "Hey, season ticket memberships wants to interview you. Let's set it up." And what I'm gonna do? Say no? This is my dream. Right. I say no just because y'all passed up on me. So knocked that interview out. I did a panel interview with my department. Felt I did good on that. So at that point, it was just a waiting game. But I was so discouraged. Like my first 2, I was hyped. I told my entire family, "Yo, I got an interview with the Heat, yada, yada, yada." This time, I only told my baby sister. And her close. So I go, "Yo, I'm only telling you. Don't tell mom and dad. Don't tell nobody. I don't want everybody to be disappointed again and blah, blah, blah if it don't come to fruition." So she was the only one I told about the interview. When they called and offered me the position, she was the first one I called before I let everybody else know. So that's how I got to the Heat, and that was it's my current department too. I haven't left department, so I became the coordinator of the season ticket membership department.
That's pretty dope, man.
Yeah. So it's wild just because and kind of going back to what I kind of led off with the conversation, right? Everything is my high school coach. He taught me this. Like I'm looking at this a little discouraged, not feeling I'm getting as much playing time back in high school as I felt like I should have. All right, cool. Stand up, man up. You ain't quitting. Like you're gonna ride the season out, and you're gonna ride this out. You're gonna keep banging on the door until you get in there. So those are the life lessons that are kind of parallel to my life. Like once I actually look at it and unfold it, like, man, all of that kind of started with me and my high school coach back in 06, 07 at Southeast. Like all of those little nuggets that I was able to pick up, and I didn't realize them until stuff like this started happening in life.
It's crazy because everything is happening revolving around that basketball, like that everything.
And for a reason, man. Similar to you, I like to use my personality and everything. The positions that I got passed up for were kind of behind the scenes stuff. this is fan facing, which means I get to deal with our fans. I get to make dreams come true for kids. Like, man, I didn't build so many relationships with families, and I didn't see their kids grow up in colleges, girlfriends, driving, all type of stuff, all because of basketball. I done made crazy memories for these people just by the love. Everybody sharing the love of basketball.
That's dope, man. Making a difference in these kids' lives and stuff that they will never forget.
Yeah. Once I got the position, I think the thing that then I realized it was my mission, right? So everybody has a life mission. Everybody has to figure out what that is. So a couple seasons in, I think I figured out what mine was. Mine was to be a me that I would have wanted. I wish I would have known somebody at the Bulls, at the Pacers, that I could have just called up and been like, yo, B, I want to come to a game. Or, hey, I want to sit courtside, watch the guys warm up today. Or, hey, I want to go to a meet and greet or go to all of these events with the coaches and players. I want to be that person for the next generation of people that want to work in sports, but the next generation of just like kids that enjoy basketball as much and want to turn it into a career. And then just let people know that, hey, like making it to the league is fire, but it's a great chance you might not make it. Yo, you can still do it. There's a whole different sector that they don't tell you about growing up that is exploding right now in the sport industry. So
I tell kids all the time, man, you got better chances of not making it than making it. So you need to, and even when I was in my days, I say you need to have a backup plan. I'm like, dang, what, you don't think I can make it or something? But at the same time, it's like, okay, grown-ups know. You know what I'm saying? When we're young, we don't understand. Like, everybody don't make it. You know what I mean? It's only a select few that do make it.
Yeah.
So they're just really preparing us, you know, from the disappointment and stuff that it may cause up when we don't make it. Because I see people who don't make it and they be lost. They don't know what to do.
Yeah. So sure. I didn't seen it. I've seen it
a lot. So this whole time, like, adults around were just pretty much getting us prepared to you know, look into other things, find other interests, other than just having our eyes set on being a pro player, because they knew, like, chances are you're not going to make it. You know what I mean? So that's just how it is.
And that's what I try to preach. If I could be a testimony to anybody, like, yo, it's cool. You can set the ball down. You can still pick it up on weekends. You can pick it up in regular, wherever you want to do. You can still pick it up, but you can actually turn this into a profession too, where you're not on the court and still being around it. Still know the ins and outs and everything like that. So it's still a chance to kind of fulfill that dream that everybody, every athlete has as a kid, whether it's football, baseball. Like, you want to make it professional, but in case you don't, there's professional sports teams that have a business side that need ran.
Can't beat it either. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'd be satisfied, you know, working any position for any, you know what I'm saying, like NBA. I say NBA, I was gonna say sports, but I'm like you. I would want to be working anything for the Bears. I mean, I love the Bears and stuff like that, but I don't want to work in football. I want to work in basketball. You know what I mean? That's where that passion lies and stuff like that. So from day one to now, you still have the same feeling, like when you walk into the arena and stuff like that, like that same excitement, you know, like encouragement. You know what I mean? It's like some people walking to work and they be like, another day, but it's some, they walking to work and they just be, you know, excited, happy to be there. Just, you know, you still got the same type of energy that you had when you first walked into your day one.
It's crazy that this is season 11 for me, and I still get goosebumps during the national anthem. My stomach still turns when I scan my key card at the gate in the garage to park for the game or for work, whatever the case is. And there's still moments where I'll swipe through a door with my key card and I'm like, bro, I really got a card to an NBA arena and can just walk around wherever I want. Like, it's not, especially like let's say I forget something on the weekend and got to go back down there and grab it. I'll be like, I'm in here on a Saturday, just walking around, like,
Crazy.
and I'm good. Like, I'm good here. Like, they know me, all that type of. It's still a crazy feeling. So those little subtle moments is why I don't think I could ever like be like, oh, I made it or I did this. Like, nah, like that was one part of it. Now it's like, all right, how do you stay here?
Right.
How do you figure out? Because I'm not too full of myself to think that I'm not replaceable. So I can be replaced. So what do I need to do to make sure that I don't get replaced? You've made it here. You've been here 11 seasons. Who knows? They might be looking at you now like, oh, man, it's almost time for B to go. Like, nah, man, I need to put another 11 years on the board so
Yeah.
I can continue this feeling. So
You ever have the whole arena to yourself? Maybe not the whole arena, but the floor, and you stand in the center and just look up or sit down and just sit and think like, shit, like I made it. Like,
I take my whenever I need a break. So two answers to that. I take my breaks in the arena piece.
the
So
arena,
I
really,
might
yeah.
go up to the 400 level and just look down, or I might just go to the court, walk around the outside of the court, go to court, look up, and be like, man, this is kind of crazy. Sit in the courtside seats, FaceTime my mom, and show like she be just as geeked as me. Every time I do that with her pops. So those are those times. But the one unique time I was able to propose on our court. So it was a dark day.
I've seen that, man. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, shit,
That was probably, if
that
I
was
had a
top tier,
memory,
bro.
yeah, if I had a
That was
memory,
nuts.
being
That
able
was
to
nuts.
propose to my now wife on
On
the
an
court,
NBA floor, bro. Like,
and they
that's
gave me the building to pretty much do whatever I wanted to do with it. And that's just from just building rapport and relationships in different departments. So that was like, that wasn't even me. That was me asking, hey, y'all think this is possible? And then them just saying, yeah, go crazy with it because we like you. So that was the other time where it was just us in there, me and my people in there, and making a special moment for my wife. Just because that was one of the unique ones that I have a memory for.
man, that's yeah. I've seen that online and shit. I'm like, bro, I probably sat and stared at that shit like it was me or something like that, man. That shit was dope. That
Yeah,
shit was dope for real.
that got me a lot of brownie points. That got me some
Yeah,
brownie points with her.
I bet it did, man. As far as like your future goals go, like outside of what you're doing now, you got anything specific that you want to accomplish and stuff like that, or even pertaining to working within the NBA?
Yeah. And I've never I think I've only verbalized this to my wife and my immediate family, not even my boys or
Mm-hmm.
anything. But again, another great question. I don't mind answering anything. I'm going to be a president of an NBA team at
Mm-hmm.
some point. I fully believe that. I fully think that I am capable of that. So we have president of business operations. Ours now is amazing. Good relationship with him. But I think the way to explain it is Pat Riley is our president of
Mm-hmm.
basketball operations. So he's kind of the top dog on the basketball side, draft picks. Him and our GM make decisions on contracts, all that type of stuff. Same concept on the business side, make decisions on budgets, decisions that the business is going to go, pricing, all those type of things. So that is the end goal. That's the end goal, is to be one of the 30 presidents. And that's the tough part about it, which that's why it'll always be a challenge. And that's
Right.
what I live for, is a challenge. That's what makes life fun, in my opinion. It makes every day unique and interesting when I walk in the office, because you never know what will happen. So there's only 30 of these positions that exist in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you go to a different sport and all that, but I want basketball. So
Basketball, yeah.
yeah, so 30 of those positions exist. I need one of them down the road.
Man, that's
Yeah,
I got faith in you. Shit, I mean,
I need one of
as
them.
years go on, you've been doing building your resume up and stuff like that. So, and I'm pretty sure even if it's another organization or something, those
Yeah.
head of the Miami Heat organization will, you know, have nothing but good things to say about you to them. So I'll probably
And
say
that's
that's
the thing
probably
that I've learned. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like they might be the one of the, I mean, obviously one of the best organizations in all of sports. But I love how they, like you said, they stay in house and stuff like that. They give people opportunities to move up. You know,
Yeah.
for example, Spo. You know what I mean? How he started, where he started, and where he's at now.
Yeah.
I just love how hard the whole organization works, man.
The thing about actually the culture, right? The culture
Yeah,
hacks. So
the
the thing,
culture.
yeah. So
Yeah, the
the
culture.
actual thing about the culture of the Miami Heat is they make you uncomfortable to bring the best out of you. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's what I've learned. Like we use the same principles that the basketball side uses, where if you hear players talk about our practices, you need knee pads, you need mouthpieces and stuff like that. Like if you hear the players talk about it, they don't even practice like that around the league. Just
Mm-hmm.
hearing interviews and different stuff like that. But they know you come here, you got the body tests, fat weight, and all those type of different things. So all of those, we use those same principles and just apply them to the business side where hey, y'all think y'all might be good, but my boss tells me all the time, hey, what we did this last year, anything different you want to add? And I'm like, man, I know we did this last year, but it worked well.
Mm-hmm.
So he's forcing me to not just do a cookie cutter, whatever it is, and just replicate it. He's forcing me to think outside the box, look at different trends, look at other teams, look at what everything is going on in the industry, and bring pieces of that into our organization. And I sit on league calls a few times a quarter where the me's of the world from other teams, we get on a
Mm-hmm.
Zoom call. It's led by the NBA, and everybody is just spitballing different things. Hearing them, and this is not to throw shade on any other team, but hearing them and knowing what we get, man, my job, I feel like would be a lot tougher at a different team. We get a lot of different accesses. We get a lot of different things that a lot of other teams don't get. So to your point, having that culture in our executives kind of all in with us and wanting to be the best at every single metric, I think
Mm-hmm.
it bodes well for the employees. And I've seen this before, and I'll say what Coach Spo and Riley and everybody says. We're not for everybody. Same on the business side, man. If you don't want to work hard, if you don't want to grind, if you don't want to do that, this probably ain't the organization. They won't let you coast. They're going to try to extract the best out of you. And I appreciate my leaders from that. I lead a team as well. So that's what I try to instill in my team. So it's a different feeling there.
Incredible. It's definitely incredible, man. Man, you like living a dream. Can't complain at all.
Nah, at all, bro. At all, man. Definitely blessed. Family, friends, like they just keep me grounded, and just talking with
Yeah,
them and like just reliving memories and different things. Like, man, it's been an incredible 11 seasons, man.
definitely inspiring to the youth around here, especially with how crazy it is back this way nowadays, man.
Yeah.
Hope
And
they can.
I've talked to some local teams and different things about that.
Mhm.
And hopefully, like, my goal is to one day kind of bring like and I don't want to just throw this out there and not put no action behind it. So now if I got to throw it out there, I guess I got to put some action behind it now. But I've always thought about doing kind of like a sports summit back home,
Mhm.
and just opening kids' eyes, letting them
Yeah.
know that, hey, y'all like to be on y'all phones, y'all like to TikTok, y'all like to Instagram, y'all like to tweet, y'all like to do all this stuff. Do y'all know that they're handing out jobs to do that for the sports teams? Plus, you get to travel on the road. We got content creators that travel on the road with our teams, post what shoes Jimmy's wearing today,
Yep. Stuff like that.
a hairstyle, you know what I mean? All those different things. Y'all over here doing it for fun. Y'all can get paid for that and be working in professional sports if you want. So just opening
Mhm.
people's eyes to that. I think because I want to be that me that I never had. I never had that.
Yeah.
I didn't know all this stuff existed behind the scenes. Like, it's incredible. And people just think that we show up, turn the lights on, refs get in here, we jump the ball. I'm like, bro, I don't know how many meetings happen before one game. I don't know all the talks that go on before one game, all the different departments that have to intertwine. So there's a lot of opportunity in sports. So that's what I ultimately want to do someday, and try to make it a kind of like an annual thing. Me and my wife have talked about try to make it like an annual thing, and those up and coming youth, and just kind of just be like a connector, if I can be, to helping the next generation get into sports.
Yeah, I was myself thinking about doing that against some former athletes in here. You know, everybody wants to play pro basketball at the end of the day, but you know, only like we said, only a select few get to. You know, so I just want them to hear others talk who can get them any type of advice that they may need, and let them know like it's okay not to make it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Don't get too hard and too down on yourself about it, man. I see people who don't make it, like we said, they just hit rock bottom or something like that because they didn't make it. But I mean, it's more that don't than do. So I just the kids sometimes need to hear that type of stuff, man. You know, even growing up when we were youth and stuff like that, we thought we knew it all. You know,
for sure.
We couldn't tell us nothing. We thought we had it figured out. And some people who told me some stuff when I was younger and stuff like that, when I see them, I just tell them like, I just want to let you know that you was right. You know what I mean? I wish I had to listen. I wish I had listened when I was 17, 18, all the way up to 21 or whatever like that. When that real world hit, it hits. You know what I mean? If I could go back, I would never stop going to school. But I mean, I just got back in, and to what you were saying about how they pay people to, you know, take pictures of Jimmy's shoes and here before the game and stuff like that. I was trying to figure out, I knew my exact major, what I wanted to do, you know, media type stuff or whatever, but depending on the school, it differed on the concentration that they had or whatnot. But I've seen so many different degrees. They got social media degrees. I'm like, it's a specific degree for social media.
And that's like, new since we didn't like graduated high school. All that's new.
and I was gonna say, like, if this had been a degree when I was in college, I would have never stopped going. Like you said, you do social media for fun. Now I'm going to school for it and stuff like that. And the degree that I'm currently in is it's a new media degree, which is kind of new or whatever. Like, so I'm locked in with that, man. I can't wait to finish. And that's my ultimate goal, is to, you know, like all these stars, NBA players, they got podcasts and stuff now. I want mine to be something that, okay, I ain't gotta work. I've got a podcast I can do or something like that. You know, I want to be on a TV talking sports or whatever, an analyst. Anything like that, like you said, anything basketball wise, something like that. If I can get in and, you know, doing team media events, stuff like that, that's definitely my goal too. You know,
and
that's and coaching.
The beautiful thing about it, it's not going anywhere. So I know people. I've talked to, like, people have hit me up on LinkedIn and different things like that, and asked different questions and different things like that. I was like, hey man, it's never like, you can always get in. This is an evolving door. Like, sports turnover is so quick. So there's always going to be opportunities to get in whenever you see fit, whenever you're ready. And I actually talked to, speaking of the ball, I actually talked to a college kid, and I'm blanking on his name in school, but he just got on the basketball. I talked to him about the business side. He wanted to know business, and I didn't have the basketball operation side knowledge to give him. But we talked the business side one day, and he actually just texted me before the season started and said that he just got a internship or an assistant position with the Kings. So he's he's out there in Sacramento doing some work with the players. I mean, and he played it. He wanted to play overseas. I don't think it turned out for him well, but then he came back and was like, man, it might be too late, and yada, yada, yada. And then he landed himself with the Kings. So
that's dope. That's dope.
And everybody in sports got a unique, different background. Like, just because you study sports doesn't mean that you're in sports. There's people with law degrees that are in sports. I mean, it's crazy the backgrounds that you see. And it's just because it's one of those unique industries that like we're not curing cancer over here. Like you don't need, you know what I mean? You don't need much as long as you're willing to dedicate yourself to something. You'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. So, your favorite Heat player all time, D Wade.
D Wade, easily. If I had to pick somebody other than D Wade, I was well, the two easy ones are D Wade and Dre. When Dre came down here, those are the two easy ones. So setting those two aside, Goran Dragic. Gogi, yeah, Gogi was not a dog on the court, especially when we had him. I'm still upset he got injured in the bubble. Him and Bam were injured against the Lakers. I think we could have made that a better series if they were 100% healthy. But for my line of work, we get them. We get the players for about 6-7 events a year, meet and greets and everything. Goran is one of the only players that has never told me no. I don't want to do this or I'm not comfortable. He was down to do whatever, whether it take photos, put him at a casino table, whatever the case may be. Whatever I needed Goran to do, he always did it with a smile. The season ticket members loved him. So Goran is probably by far one of the nicest humans on earth.
That's pretty dope, man. That's pretty dope. I'm definitely a fan of his too, man. He
had a good career. Yeah, he had a good career when he came over from Slovenia and with the Suns and getting going as a youngin. And I always forget, and when I start talking about him, I remember it. He was Steve Nash's backup. So he got to learn from,
and you can tell a little bit too.
Yeah,
you can tell a little bit.
Great, yeah. So once you look at that, and then it's like, okay, that makes sense.
So if you, okay, I'm gonna say you starting a fresh Miami Heat team.
Okay,
all right? You got, let me see. You got Tim Hardaway.
Okay.
You got Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
And Zoe.
Okay.
Okay. You can only keep two. Start, bench, and cut. How you gonna do that?
Oh.
Yep. You got three. One got to go somewhere else. One come off the bench, and one can start.
It's a great question. And I'll tell you why it's a great question. So I'm a start Jimmy. I'm a bench Zoe, and I'm gonna cut Tim reluctantly. Yeah, and I say reluctantly because I played pickup with Tim when I first got down here, so he was still moving around and stuff at that point.
Yeah.
And boy, that crossover is everything they said it was. Dog, that crossover was everything. And
he hit you with the Texas two-step
a few different times. And Wolfman, because he's from Chicago, like it was everything.
Did he know you was from Springfield?
So what I played with some pro guys down here. And the only thing that I like is like, all right, y'all like respect my game. Not that I could have went league or anything, but the fact that I know y'all think I can play and be a serviceable person out here and share the same court with y'all, and y'all are NBA pros and Hall of Famers and all that type of stuff. That's all I like to do when I get in those situations. So my two favorite matchups was Tim, and that was incredible. And then Carlos Arroyo, and he nice his handle's so sick, man. His handle's so sick, and I just always remember what he did to USA and Olympics.
That's the first thing I think of when I think of him.
Yeah, and then he had some solid years down here with Brown and them, and then did some other stints everywhere else, but. Yeah, those are my two favorite ones. But Tim's crossover is everything they said it was. And at retired and older too. So I can only imagine like in Golden State and at UTEP. That's crazy.
Man, he's a monster, man.
Yeah.
So the ultimate goal every year down there is a championship. What do you think our chances are like this year?
Me, I like our chances. I always like our chances, and I could be
Mhm.
biased, but I know what the principles are, and I think I lean on that, right? I think we've never had a since I've been here, and I would have to like fact check myself on the back end, but maybe one or two losing seasons in my 11-year stint, and then there was a crazy 11, and we started 11-30, and then flipped
Mhm.
it and went 30-11, and it was before the play-in games occurred, so
Yeah.
we tied with the Nets. We were in ninth place. Brooklyn had eighth place, and we didn't get in the playoffs on the last day. A damn tiebreaker.
Mm.
But like I say that to say, I always think we got a chance just because I feel like I
Right.
know what we preach over here,
Yeah.
um, and it just take a couple people to get hot at the right time. You've seen everybody seen the run with that we had against when we lost to the Nuggets in the finals. Everybody seen the bubble run. Um,
Mhm.
we lost to Boston when Golden State won that year. We lost to Boston in the conference final on one Jimmy 3-pointer. So yeah, I think we always got a good shot. I think we're good enough to be a top 6 team and stay out of the play in this year. Time will tell on that, but I like our chances. I think Boston is the cream of the crop. I don't think there's no
Mhm.
denying that. I think them on paper and what they've shown early this season, I think they the top dogs in the East. You got to knock them out. They the champs. So respect to them, but I like our shot.
Were you always a Heat fan, or was you a Bulls fan growing up?
I was a Bulls fan, so I always say the Bulls and Mike turned me on to basketball.
Mhm.
Vince Carter made me fall in love with basketball. So Vince is my personal favorite player. So I always followed the
That's
Raptors
crazy.
as
Because
a kid.
so them your top two right there.
So they're my tops. Yeah.
That's great. Them my top two players too.
Mike and
Favorite.
Vince. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Mike
So
and Vince.
Vince actually made me fall in love with the game of basketball. Just
Yeah.
how, and it kind of similar to Mike. Mike was gliding through the air, and then Vince just came
I
in and
think that's what it was, man. Because I
yeah,
started watching Vince at UNC.
yeah,
You know, I mean, obviously we weren't born when Mike was playing at UNC, but I've
yeah,
seen enough highlights and clips and stuff like
for
that.
sure.
And growing up, I'm like, before I really fell in love with Illini because they was right down the street. UNC was my team. It's like Jordan went there, so you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Vince, Antoine Jameson, Shammond Williams,
yeah.
Ed
All them.
Cota, all
Hey,
them.
Dakota, yeah. All them.
I loved UNC, man. But yeah, Vince was my guy too.
And I think it was because you can dunk though. So I say this about me
Yeah.
because I knew I wasn't going to be like dunking and stuff. So just the fact that Vince was coming through with crazy
Mm-hmm.
dunks and Mike was coming through, I think that's what attracted me. Obviously, Mike is a completely different topic, but I think that's what attracted me
Right.
to Vince, and it made me like okay. And then once you start that, now you get your Kobe's, and that's when you start doing your research on actual players, your AIs,
Mm-hmm.
everybody in that generation, T Mac. So yeah, they're my top two. But to answer, I would say those two teams are who I pretty much follow. But I was just a basketball fan, so I always knew about the Heat.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
'90s Heats, like your Dan Marleys, Tim Hardaway's, Vashawn Leonard's, PJ
All
Brown,
them. Yeah.
so Brian Grant, all
Man,
them.
them and the Knicks games probably
Yep.
the most exciting era of all,
Yeah.
rivalries of all time, man.
Hearing that on getting ready to watch a game on a Sunday after church with the
Mm.
NBC
NBC
music,
music, the intro music.
that like
They don't know nothing about that these
you
days,
can't
man.
beat that feeling, man.
I
You
don't care
can't
if I
beat
just
it.
heard that. I just need to hear that.
Yeah,
I might not even pay attention to the damn game or something. I hear that, I'm tuned in.
hear that, and
That
your
just hit
eyes are
different, man.
glued. Yeah,
And
that's a
then the little
different.
intro they do, like after that's going off, the voice
Yep.
Marv Albert and them, whatever, they just talking about the matchup and stuff like that. The Miami Heat. And
Yep.
they just I'm like, damn,
With Van Gundy hanging on Zoe leg last
leg,
game.
yeah,
This
man.
was yeah, that's those are memories right there, bro.
That
Yeah, so
shit is
I
that
was
shit is
always a
epic.
fan. I was always just in a general fan of Miami, just because I liked them. I liked watching them.
Mm-hmm.
Those rivalries. It was always stories. So
Yeah, I actually like playing from NBA Live and shit too. I just like the colors, the arena,
that
the
NBA
floor, all that
Jam. I
shit.
like playing with. Yeah, and I think the NBA Jam duo was Glenn Rice. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know who Glenn was with though, but Glenn Rice for sure was on there.
Was it Billy Owens?
Billy, maybe Bimbo Coles, maybe.
It was one of them.
Yeah, they was on there too. I know you could pick from a couple different ones. So yeah,
Maybe
all
Ronnie
that.
Spikely or some shit too. I don't
Yeah,
know, but they.
Cycly. Yeah, Psych was there. Yep.
I definitely messed with the Heat back then, man.
Yeah.
Baby Jordan, Harold
Yeah.
Miner and stuff
Yeah.
like
Harold
that.
Miner
Yeah,
was there. Yeah.
like
So yeah,
you, just like you, I was just a basketball fan, man. I could tell you everybody on every team.
yeah, that's why I know it was crazy, and this is why I wanted to work at. I wanted to work in the NBA or Sports Center, so that was one of
Mm-hmm.
my as a
Man,
kid too.
Sports
Shout out
Center,
Stu Scott, rest in peace, Stu Scott. He made you turn
he's
into
my
that,
favorite.
and then it was my family always thought it was crazy how I could like you name the players, but then name
Mm-hmm.
all the centers, all the
Yeah,
arenas of all the teams, like Allen
everything.
Iverson at the Wachovias, and like it's just crazy. All the knowledge that you just gained from watching. I'm sure NBA Live and 2K helped out with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing it so much. So all of that, like, yeah, man, just love the game, man. Love that ball.
Man, ball really is life for real.
Yeah.
Ball really is life. I mean
Facts.
that, man.
Yeah.
Yep, man.
Agreed.
It was, man. I appreciate you, man, taking time out your evening and stuff, hopping on and getting in here with me and stuff like that, man. I'd be having a hard time getting these in for real with my busy schedule and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna start making time to get more content and stuff in, man. I'm kind of biased or whatnot, but I love getting people around from 217 area and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get as many people in as I can that I feel like have a story to tell and have similar interests as me.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like guests can watch and be entertained and be like, oh, I never knew who this was. Or even if they did know you, they didn't know what you were doing right now and stuff like that. So kind of catching up on what you're doing and stuff like that. So man, I swear I appreciate it, man, for real, for real.
No, man, I appreciate you tapping in, and I'm honored. This was a dope convo. Literally felt like a convo back and forth. Just
Yeah.
similar interests. So, I appreciate you, bro. Definitely doing some dope things.
Yep, appreciate it, man. I'll be in contact with you, man. I'm trying to come down there sometime soon, man. I don't know. I feel like I need to be down there at least once a year, man. I ain't been since couple of the time you hooked me with them tickets. That's the last time I've been or whatever.
That was the last time.
And that shit was so dope, man. And it was the playoffs too. I'm like, shit.
I ain't even checking. It was Milwaukee, right?
Yep. I want to say it was game 7. Did they go to game 7?
And I remember because it was Mother's Day weekend, and I had went up to Jacksonville with my mom. But our mutual guy, Robbie Davis, plugged me and was like, "Yo, my guy Kyler there, hit him up, blah blah blah." So I was like, "All right, if Robbie good with Kyler, and we had known of each other, and I was like, if Rob good with Kyler, Rob my big homie, so bet." So that's when I hit you and was like, "Yo, what you doing? Blah blah blah. You trying to hit the game?" So because I had some extra seats, I'm mad I missed it because I remember it being a good game.
Yeah, it definitely was a good one, man. I got off my flight, got an Uber straight to the arena. I didn't even go check in or nothing. I just checked my bags in at the arena, and I was in there.
It was in there. Yeah,
it was definitely a dope experience for real, man. I swear, I enjoyed myself. I was by myself too. Like I met some people down there, and they weren't even able to make it to the arena. I'm like, well, shit, I'm gonna go by myself. I don't care.
I'm in there. Yeah.
Man, I had a blast. Man, I had a blast.
Whenever you down here, Brody, during the season, you know how to get me. For sure.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Well, I'll be in touch with you though, man. Through the course of the season, check on you.
Sir.
I'll let you see how things going and stuff, man.
Yep, no doubt.
All right, man. Appreciate you taking your time out to hop on with me though, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Have a good night.
All right, man. Take care.
Yes, sir.